Wait, what? Hey, folks, I'm here. John Duffin here, Duffin Media, Duffin Coaching. Welcome back to our fall 2025 Blitz. It's been a minute since I've jumped on live, and I felt like it was a great opportunity. Just a good day, right? Just an overall good day, and I'll explain why in a moment. But I get to be here. I'm thrilled to be here. Number one, if you happen to be joining me live, I am live today. How about this? On Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you happen to be catching me live right now, again on Facebook, welcome. It's great to have you. Welcome aboard. If it's your first time, very cool. By the way, if anybody would do the following for me, this is Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. If this is your first time with me, give me a high sign. Give me a heads up. I will feature you prominently today. Not put you on the spot, nothing weird, but mostly as well to get to the point, to the heart of the matter. I'm thrilled that you're here. And repeats, coming backs, day ones, welcome aboard. Again, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. This is wonderful. What am I going to get to do today? As I have been hyping, it is your ability to optimize communications. So whether it's leveraging your voice, effective strategy, understanding there is a system and a rhythm in terms of presenting information or garnering information, whether it's a sales call, sales presentation, speaking in front of an audience. And folks, as you are here, happily chime in. I always prefer an interactive presentation. I can see that some people are already jumping on, and I'm thrilled about this. But again, if you give me specific comments and or situations, then I can heighten the effectiveness of the presentation. But in the meantime, don't worry. It's easy. It's accessible. It's friendly. And I want to talk about something today. We got a top 3 tips today, too. And I'm coming at this from a slightly different direction. And I'll tell you what I mean. Well, I'll tell you what I mean now. So here's the question, right? I often will ask people in a presentation, have you ever been in a situation where, I'm going to take that off for the moment, right? How about that? Have you ever been in a situation where you have presented, spoken to, had a conversation with someone where they were giving you either mixed signals or bad signals or confusion? Has it ever happened to you? And more importantly, has it ever happened to you and you couldn't figure out why? So today we are talking bandwidth. Bandwidth, folks, bandwidth. What is bandwidth? I'm not going to give you the scientific explanation to bandwidth, although I like to bring on some geeky science, and I mean in a good way, not geeky Bill Nye, the science guy, although he did teach me how to tie a bow tie. So I'm a big Bill Nye fan. But the ability to be able to break through a stressful situation. Bandwidth, what's it mean? Bandwidth, we're all walking around with limited bandwidth. So maybe I'm going to give you a comparison. How about we say, make pretend, maybe you're there, right? And if you are there, I got a couple of friends of mine that happen to be in Thailand right now. And if you are there, Thailand or your destination of choice, has anyone been in a place like that and your mind just opens, right? Wide open and ideas are coming. Oh, and they're all good ideas, right? Even better, you're able to retain them. Bandwidth. That's what we're talking about, right? It's your ability to retain information. So, in a perfect frame of mind, vacation with your family, everything's great. You just feel good. You get to retain a ton of information. Now, let's get to reality. Snap us right out of it. Who has situations where they are in a perfect mental frame of mind. You meditate for your 20 minutes, everything is clear. Who has that wide open bandwidth? Yeah, very few people, including me today. So I say that because I'm not unique in this situation. Think about it from your own vantage point, right? You've got stuff going on. I've got stuff going on, personally, professionally. Some things I wouldn't wish for. I wish weren't the case. But I will leave the exacts out of that part of the conversation and remind you from a business sense, everybody is going through something. Everybody. So there is no one that's in that perfect receptive frame of mind. But meanwhile, we have to conduct business, right? If we could leave our jobs, leave our professions, if you're in a position to do that until you've got all your stuff worked out and everything's good, go do it. Have at it. Report back and let us know how that's going for you. Most others, I'm going to guess, can't do that or don't have the privilege of it. If you've got a family, if you've got kids, if you've got a demanding profession or demanding bosses or responsibilities, everybody's got something, a friend pool where they're going through something and they're downloading to you. We're all walking around with limited bandwidth. Okay. So my job is, oh, brother, my man, Corey Disson, my man, mentor, my coach, and has helped me tremendously. And I can guarantee you, Corey Disson's inbox, I'm putting him up there again because, folks, I'm telling you what, it's shameless plug. Life's inbox is never empty. It isn't. However, here's one good thing about Corey Disson. A lot of good things, but here's one of them, which is he helps you prioritize what's in your inbox so that you're moving in a direct sense of productivity. He's great with that for me. And folks, he would be great for that with you. But in the meantime, here's what I'm talking about. How do you break through in regards to getting a job done? Let's pretend you've got a meeting today. Let's pretend for your next, I'm sorry, we ain't pretending, for your next sales call today, understand the following. You ain't all alone. You got stuff that's circulating in your mind. The client, the audience, they got something going on too. I promise you that. I promise you. And so, with this limited sense of bandwidth, what are you going to do in a sense of conveying information? I'm going to give you a choice right now. Watch that choice of words, by the way. I'm giving you a choice in terms of how do you navigate further, right? That's your clue. Give them a choice. Do not bludgeon clients with long narratives and information. The hack, the tip that I work with, it's a simple one. It's called this or that. It works in life. It works in business. Here's what this or that means. You don't have to wave your hands. That's for dramatic effect or comedic effect. But what is this or that? I'll tell you. Whether you're asking questions, providing a solution, trying to move a relationship forward, do not bludgeon somebody with a myriad of choices or options or solutions or whatever, okay? Because most people do not have the bandwidth to be able to process more than a couple of things. It's not a knock on their intelligence. It's typically a reality check on their own situation. So remember, most people are not going to tell you about what their life's inbox happens to be. They're not going to sit and share that with you. They're just going to have that limited bandwidth. So this or that, I can provide you this as a solution, or I could go here in that direction. Which would you prefer? I learned that hack, by the way, wildly effective from a family member who I won't out on this call, but going through a really brutal personal situation. And here's two questions you're never going to ask. Here's a question you're never going to ask someone, client, business colleague, hey, if you need anything, let me know. No one can process that question. The next time you catch yourself, I want you to catch yourself in the, hey, if you need anything, let me know. Cut it out. Literally cut it out. Even if you're this or that are not the correct answer, mentally, your mind can handle it, which means you're putting someone, the client, the audience, your sales team, your colleagues, you're putting them in a position to make a decision. The science backs it up. You've heard so often the threes. I'm going to tell you, two is even better. So get really tight with your solutions so that you can come in with two things. Get really tight with your questions so that they can handle it. We used to, in our media company, and I was with three of the strongest media companies, technically four, with the independent television station, strongest media companies in the United States. We did amazingly good things. One of the things I wish I could get back was that sense of entitlement of delivering 40-page PowerPoint presentations. You notice, you're going to see, I have one slide today. There's a reason for that. If you're delivering value, right, and you take the time to prepare, honest to God, you want the message to be received. Hence the point of my podcast and coaching platforms, your message received. Oh, no, one more shameless plug to the Disson Design team who created my Your Message Received and Duff and Coaching logos. However, let's get back to the matter at hand. So again, remember, number one, your next business conversation today, limit choices, options, solutions. Limit them to two, this or that. Always follow up with a key question. Am I heading in the right direction? That's your tip number two. You're not talking at people. You're talking to people. Okay? And you're getting their buy-in at each point along the way. If you're here and live, folks, if you're on the replay, take mental notes, right? Write them down and use this yourself. But the question is, how often have you delivered a myriad of PowerPoint slides and checks and bullet points and ideas and narratives that nobody will read, and you get literally a blank stare, right? Go back to the this or that. But here's tip number two. There is always buy-in at every point along the way. Unless you're talking to someone brand new, you've never talked to them before, you've never heard of them before. Pretty rare, right? But even that we'll get to in point three. Number two, if it's somebody you've spoken to at least once or communicated with at least once, understand that you need their buy-in. First, middle, last, always. Always. Hey, I decided today, based on what we've talked about before, I wanted to speak with you about this and possibly this. Am I headed in the right direction? No? Okay. It's not time for you to get combative. Have you ever caught people doing that? Well, I provided this information, and I just thought, leave all of that out. Remember the limited bandwidth part that we're talking about, right? So how do you want a conversation to flow? If you find out you're wrong, you want to find it out early. Okay? Early. Hey, no, I'm not really in. That's not really what I was. Great. Where would you like me to head? If it's not here or here, where would you like to go? I guarantee you'll get an answer. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but with my close to 30 years experience, it never fails, provided you're helping. You want to generate more revenue? You want to be able to get stronger business relationships? Do you want to be remembered? Well, here's how. It is a constant buy-in between you and the person you're speaking with. Constant. It's not a helpless sort of, I don't know, what do you think? It's the exact opposite, right? It's a kind, compassionate, direct form of communications. Hey, when we spoke before, I remember you told me that you wanted to focus on this. Does that still work for you today? Are we headed in the right direction? These senses of buy-in, again, there's no wrong answer. Yes, that's exactly what I want to focus on. No, I don't want to talk. Great. Where would you like me to go to that instead? They'll answer it because you've triggered the brain. All right. Back to the bandwidth. Have you ever been in situations where you have someone, business, personal, that wants to give you all of their personal information and or all of their stuff? And you realize as they're communicating, let's look at it from the eye of the client or from the business colleague. And let's say you're the client or colleague or the receptor, right? So to speak. And you're listening and you realize, I can't handle this. I can't take all this in. That's a kind way to say it, right? Have you ever been in like, okay, I need you just to shut up? Well, that doesn't work right in business and typically not in life. However, these sorts of relevant reminders go in with the intention and the understanding that most people are carrying something. So you don't get an unlimited opportunity to dump all your personal stuff on someone and then expect them to care, to help. So again, we've delivered 2 tips already. Here's your third, and this is surprising to me. Remember I said I was going to deliver a little bit of science? Well, I'm not Bill Nye, and I ain't wearing a bow tie. But here's something that I found today that I found really interesting. The key is it doesn't mean you can't communicate. If somebody's carrying around a lot of other things and have limited bandwidth, it doesn't mean you shouldn't communicate. If you're carrying around a lot of stuff, right? The line, you do remember under stress. This is a recent study from the Yale School of Medicine talking about Elizabeth Goldfarb, talking about the ability to remember things. Your ability, the memory signals, cortisol on the memory signals. It's crazy how this connects more so to the brain. So in a situation where you're hearing information or you're conveying information, works on both sides, right? You're going to remember more. So what's the life lesson or the business lesson in terms of, right? You do have an opportunity here. So none of this is, and this is your tip number 3, none of this is wait till things get better for you or for them. Don't. Why? You can't. You got to move forward. I just spent a recent amount of time, not a lot, but a recent amount of time, and I did very little. Oh, I'm not going to now abuse what I just said and download a bunch of stuff at you. But it definitely impacted me. It impacted my productivity. And I realized, which is why I'm live today, I realized that sometimes situations aren't going to get better or new situations are going to materialize. So if you never have that empty inbox, that clean slate, that laying in the sand, ideating over a million things, and they're all brilliant ideas. God, if I only had a pen, I'd write this down. But instead, I'm just going to lay here. Right. So probably can't just sit around and lay here. So what can you do with this information? You're going to make solid choices. Tip number 3. If that sense of stress makes things more memorable, here's the tip. Don't blow it. All right? Know full well you've got a limited amount of time, you've got a limited amount of attention. So you're going to go back to the this or that choices. You're going to go back to the idea of buy-in. Am I headed in the right direction? And C, don't blow it. Here's how. Ask better questions. Do your homework, but don't ride 100% solo. Ask better questions. Any and every opportunity. Ask questions along the way. You don't know everything. You don't want to know everything. You want to learn, right? Every situation is an opportunity to learn more, to progress a relationship, to close business, to elevate. It only happens with buy-in, good questions, and airtight solutions that matter in the heat of a moment. So all I'm saying is in that don't blow it, do your homework, ask relevant questions, and for God's sake, listen to the responses. Because again, if everything becomes more memorable based on the science, right? You have less retention, but you'll remember more. So these become heightened opportunities. Pay attention. Really pay attention, because you'd be amazed at what you can provide. You can actually energize people, right? You can actually energize people when you are in a situation where they are having limited bandwidth and their life situations are hard. I've watched it happen. If you're on point, you listen, you don't bludgeon people with stuff, honest to God, you've got this great situation where they're going to remember you. They're going to remember what you have to say. They're going to remember the solutions. And when it comes down to decision time, you got a much better chance of being the one. Okay? The one. So I love the fact that, honest to God, I'm thrilled that you showed up for me today. Number 1. Again, they're your top 3 tips. All right? So number 1, it is. You got to pay attention. Do not come with an unlimited bandwidth of stuff. This or that. How do you know you to bring this or that? You ask really good questions. You listen. You do your homework. And then number 3, it's the buy-in. So, honest to God, am I headed in the right direction? You do those 3 things today, just those 3 things today, on your next sales call, on your next team meeting, you're going to be in a great place. I don't guarantee much in life, as you learn, especially as you get older, that it's really hard to guarantee, but I can assure you, you'll be in a better place than you were. The information you glean, your ability, you'll realize that bandwidth that we said is so limited can actually expand so that you're having a more in-depth conversation, not just chatter. That's what we do here at Duffin Media and Duffin Coaching. It's on-point, direct communications that provide solutions, solve problems, and put you at a better and a higher place at your company. So you want to do more business-wise, I'm going to leave you with this. Here's your opportunity. You might have read on the worldwide internet. By the way, I double posted. Maybe we're still having internet issues, but I'm going to say this, that there were some website challenges and stuff that were some sort of a global thing. We ain't having that now, by the way. See that email address, jd@duffinmedia.com? That's me. Reach out to me. What I'm offering is a 30-minute discovery call. So we turn the situation specifically to you and to me. Here's how it works. With that discovery call, I can let you know specifically how I can help you coaching-wise. Your strategy situations, your work situations, your business situations, I can help. And I will help. I'll talk to you about my methodology. I'll talk to you about the blueprint, and I'll talk to you about opportunities that are specific and customizable to you. You want to grow, you want to be a part of my team? I'm interviewing right now for 2 coaching openings that I have that I can offer to 2 clients. That's it right now through the end of the year. But you want your strategy tighter. You want your options better. You want to be able to optimize time in your communications. Email me at jd@duffinmedia.com. I got you. Folks, I am really grateful. Great day today. I feel great about the productivity. I hope you do too. Any questions or comments, there's my email address. I'm definitely want to hear, and feedback. I want to know. Keep checking out your socials because I keep popping up. Weird how that works, right? John Duffin, Duffin Media. Have a great rest of the day, all. Be good. Talk soon. Bye.